Greetings everyone, this is the P Security channel, and today we'll be taking a look at a brand new program called XCore Antivirus or XCore Complex Protection, in which they give you a scanner, a firewall, a proactive protection, which is their zero-day component. I'm not entirely sure if this is a behavior blocker or a HIPS module, but it's something in between, I guess. And they've got a firewall and USB disk protection. I'm not exactly sure how this works, but basically they give you scanner, firewall, proactive protection. So this is their internet security suite, and this is free. So you only have to pay to remove the ads from the application, otherwise you're free to use it as you like. And let me show you that this thing is up to date. Now I don't have my regular samples today, so we won't be able to do the full review on this application, but since this is a brand new program, I decided to give it a shot anyway. Now, while it's updating, let's take a look at some of their advanced settings. Now, they have language settings, and you can basically select English or Russian. This is a Russian program. It's made by a Russian developer, which is pretty eminent. It's not something goes without saying, basically. And you can change the way the scanner works. You can auto scan memory, scan subdirectories, use XCore scanning technology, which is supposed to make your scans a lot faster, and you can scan archives, and you do have some advanced settings in here, and you can delete or quarantine the files found, so the usual stuff. And let's go into the flash drive protection. Use flash antivirus. So it's basically just a fancy way of saying real-time protection for your flash drive, which should work just like real-time protection for your hard drive. I don't know why they have to make a separate module for this. And then you have the proactive protection. Now this is the interesting part. It's supposed to give you some alerts, which you can either allow or block, and you can set the default to deny or allow, and basically you have a mode for advanced users. So I'm not exactly sure how this works, but because this application tends to give a lot of alerts even in their standard mode, I'm not going to enable this right now. So we'll leave it at default settings because I still don't understand what exactly this advanced mode is. And you have firewall settings. So that's basically it. Fairly simple program, works well, but I'm not sure about proactive protection or how this thing works. I've seen the scanner, I've done a scan, it's fairly fast. And now let's check out the memory usage, which is also quite low. It seems to be using only around 15 megabytes. Yep. So that's pretty low memory usage, so I'm really happy with that. So I don't have any malware links today, so let's just go and grab our files. Now these files are quite old. They're a few days old, and there are only 100 of them, but let's see how many it can block. Well, the real-time protection was turned on, and I just copied these files. I didn't see a single alert, so I'm not sure if how good their file antivirus is. Alright, so we have our 100 items, and XCore is not doing anything. Just here I've got the files, and they're not doing anything. So this is definitely not a great thing to see. I mean, the real-time protection, basically it should scan and remove these files, but it looks like it's not going to do anything at all until I run them. So anyway, before that I will do a scan, so let's check out how fast their scan is on unknown files. So basically we'll have to add this folder. Alright, so here's our folder, and we're going to do a scan. So let's see how long this takes. And I guess it is going to take a while. So I'll be back with the results of the scan. Alright, so the scan was fairly fast, but it says it only detected 6 items, skipped 1, and that's it. So not a lot of files were caught. In fact, nothing was caught by the real-time protection, but the scan seems to have caught 6 items. That's not a great result. In fact, it's a ridiculous detection ratio of just 6%. So I'm definitely not happy with their guard. The real-time protection seems to be doing nothing at all, and even their scan is terrible. I mean, it just caught 6 of 100 files. That's not a great result. Now, having said that, let's check out their proactive protection and if it can do something and block these files when I try to run them. So let's go ahead and run some of these files. Here goes number 1. I didn't get any alerts for this one. Number 2, okay, it requires net framework. Number 3 runs just fine. Number 4, great. So finally, we've got a HIPS alert here, and it says that this thing is trying to access a registry key. It's basically trying to make a startup item, I guess. So we're going to block that. And finally, some action by XCore. But let's continue. Alright, so this one's also trying to create a startup item. We'll block that. So XCore does tell you when something creates a startup item, but then again, it's going to do that for every program. So you might as well have allowed it, because when it does it for every program and it's not giving you any proper info about this process, it becomes really confusing. Because I've seen a lot of alerts from this program about Windows services and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, a regular user could also hit allow. But anyway, I'll block this. So I'm basically giving XCore the advantage by hitting block every time. So basically it's just blocking any program from creating startup items. So that's something, but it's not great, to be honest. And now let's try to enable their advanced mode and see if that does anything extra. So this is their mode for advanced users. Let's go ahead and save that, and let's try some more links. Some more files now. Alright, so now we get more actions. So this thing's trying to create a registry key again. So basically their advanced mode doesn't give you more alerts. What it does, it gives you more actions. So you can block the process and place it in block list. You can deny the action but not kill the process. You can allow one-time action, or you can just block and terminate. And that's basically the best thing to do, I guess. So again, this thing's taken care of. Let's try running some more. Alright, again. So it's blocking these things from modifying registry entries. But apart from that, I don't think this application is doing much. As you can see, every time we've got the same registry key being modified and this thing's blocking it. So this is some kind of a really immature HIPS module. It's not really fully developed. It doesn't give you a lot of info, but it does give you the control. So if you're an advanced user, I don't know, you may want to use this module, but to be honest, it's less than impressive. Alright, so as long as this thing doesn't create a startup item, I guess it'll be fine. Alright, so now, again, this is a firewall alert. I've allowed a couple of these before. So, I guess I'll allow this one. We'll block this process though. So again, I'm not trying to evaluate this product because I think the evaluation is quite clear, but I'm just trying to see the way this thing works. So it's only blocking one kind of registry modification. Now that was a firewall alert, and they don't have a whitelist or anything, so basically no matter which application you're running, you're going to get all these alerts, and it's up to you whether you want to allow or block these. And to be honest, if I was smart enough to know whether this process should be allowed or blocked, why would I be dumb enough to run the file in the first place? So I'm not sure if this kind of a HIPS module is very helpful, because it's not giving me any detailed info. It's just giving me the process name, the registry key it's modifying, or in this case, the port that it's trying to access, and whether or not I want to allow it. So, I mean, for a regular user, this is useless, because they're probably going to have to hit allow every time, because they'll be used to doing that, and once you have this thing on your computer, you'll just be allowing everything because it's going to ask you for everything. So when a malware runs, you'll probably think, oh yeah, this is the regular thing to do, just hit allow. And so I'm not sure how useful this is going to be. You definitely need a more improved HIPS module than this. I mean, I like the idea, but I think the execution is quite poor over here. So as you can see, I think we found out the way this thing works. The stuff that does not modify startup items is basically allowed to do whatever else it wants to do. I mean, it blocks very few actions, and in that too, it gives you very little info. And I mean, to be honest, it's not a great thing to have. I mean, I would definitely not recommend anyone to use this program at the moment. First of all, their pathetic detection ratio. That is something to be noted. It's basically useless. The AV part of this program, and the HIPS part, I guess it works, but definitely not very well. As you can see, we've got this process running over here, and it's doing nothing because yeah, it didn't edit that specific registry key, so everything's good. But you definitely still can get infected with this thing, and the way the current HIPS module works, it's just like Windows user account control, which everybody's going to get used to allowing. So unless they add some kind of sophisticated information to help you decide which process to allow and which not to allow, maybe some kind of recommended action, or maybe a whitelist, something like that would definitely make this proactive protection better. But apart from that, their scanner is terrible. I mean, these are pretty old files, and their detection rate was really, it was below the floor. So definitely not acceptable. So at the moment, this product is in development stage. If you want to test it out, I guess it's okay, but for using this on your production machine, definitely not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm planning to do more tests like this in the future, so have a nice day and stay tuned.